Do you guys think that Bryce Young deserves to be done dirty? Because that's exactly how ESPN is doing him this year, and that's some of what we're going to be discussing today. Welcome back to the Fantasy Football Channel. All Kyle, how are you doing today, my
I am
man?
doing well. Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Today we are doing a team breakdown on the Carolina Panthers.
Oh yeah, oh spicy. That's spicy out there.
We're looking at team overview, the fantasiness of this team, associated components to support our discussion today. And Adam, real quick, Superflex League, you're on the clock. You taking Malik or you taking Bryce?
Oh, is this redraft?
Yes.
Redraft. I am taking Malik rushing upside all day, baby. And I got to say, fantasy-ness, that's a new adjective or verb or whatever that is.
I think that should be our next hat. Fantasy-ness.
I like that. I am all for it. We are talking Panthers. We are talking the leader of the NFC South. May I say I use the word May I use the word leader a little bit liberally there. Last year, they won the top 8 and 9. You want to know how they finished their last 5 games?
Playoffs?
2 and 3. They did make the playoffs. I'm going to get into that in a minute. Total offense, 27, 295 yards. Not good. 35 touchdowns. Rushing rank, 19th, 116 rush yards per game. Pass rank, 26th, 179 pass yards per game. Not good. Vegas win-loss is at 6.5, Kyle. Where do you pin
over
the Carolina Panthers?
Over.
He is saying over.
That's low. That's very low.
Well, if every team finishes with 8 wins, I guess they're all going to hit the over again.
In a bad division, that's very low.
All right, let's recap this Panthers season here. I'm also going to take the over, but just right at that 7, just scheming over it. The Panthers are the first team in NFL to have to win 2 divisional titles with a losing record. They joined 5 other teams to win a division sub 500. And even worse, they've lost the 2 regular season games of the season.
That's right.
So they truly said, wait, we won? Wait, we did a playoff game? Because they sure as shit didn't really deserve one. Mm-hmm. That's besides the point. What they did do right, they made major upgrades at stopping the run and running the football. Okay. Yeah, we'll leave that at that for now. Are you ready to get into the goods?
Let's do it. Let's talk about the fantasy football players. Starting out, quarterback, Bryce Young.
Quarterback. I like that.
Got him a little dirty.
Alabama.
Quarterback, 26 is his current ESPN projection. Last year, he was projected quarterback 23, and he finished just inside. At quarterback, 19th overall. So, you know what puzzles me about this guy is the guy's got some legs. Where are my rush points, bro? I mean, come on, man. Anyways.
He's really shied away from that.
Yet to find his way as like a true fantasy quarterback here. Obviously, the number 1 draft pick a couple years ago, and hasn't really done a whole lot except keep the job and maybe slightly improve in some areas, I would say. He's got some consistency with his offense, and they're bringing in some new playmakers. They're switching things up at the coordinator spot. So they're trying to support him. This is his team. They're trying to make it happen for him. What do you think?
Yeah, here's my take with Bryce Young. This kid has had a terrible team around him up until last year. Now that last year's team around him was average, this year's team around him is going to be average or slightly above average. However, there's one major metric that I can get behind with this kid. He has 12 career game-winning drives. That's a player I can get behind if there's no one else better too. So what is the issue with Bryce Young? Well, over the past couple years, he's only made little leaps forward, very small improvements, which is why the haters hate on him. There has never been a major leap. This year, he has no complaints with the weapons around him. He has a team around him. This is his make or break year. If he does not make a leap this year, he will be thrown to the wolves after this one and no longer defended.
I mean, I think a part of this, too, is like, you know, Caleb struck gold when he got Ben Johnson to come over, right? Like, he doesn't have, like, a great offensive-minded leadership spot and a great, like, quarterback coach to help him development. I think is probably some of this.
He doesn't have anyone great around him, period. And any position.
The weapons around him as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if he can keep moving forward, it sounds like they switched up a little bit. I'll get to that later. But they have him projected he threw for 3,000 yards last year, 23 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. He had another 200 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns rushing. So they're projecting him for basically 500 more yards and less through the air for touchdowns and about the exact same for rushing. I mean, what I can't get over is why can't he move the ball a little bit more with his legs and score a little more with his legs? He has that ability, doesn't he?
He does. I can tell you exactly why. He's 5'10" and very small frame, and if he wants to continue to be a quarterback in the NFL, he needs to stay alive to do so. So the coaches probably said, "You know what, buddy? Let's chill out on that. Let's see if you can throw the football." But to your fantasy credit, I get what you're saying, but to keep him alive, I think that's why they didn't do that. He's a
Yeah,
small
I
dude.
mean,
Him
it's
and
I think
Kyler
it's
Murray
a
are the
lot of the
only two.
coaching, the guys around him are, keeping him at the not great where we want him to be for fantasy. But it feels like you got to keep adding to the team around him, keep supporting
Which
him, and
they're
just
doing
let
it.
him. You got to let him rip. You got to cut him loose a little bit. Don't you feel that way?
I think they did that in the first couple of year or two, and they didn't like what they saw. So that's kind of why. But again, 5'10", 204 pounds. You don't want getting hit too much. Him and Kyler Murray are the shortest quarterbacks in the league at 5'10", and they both struggle to throw the football, which is interesting for that height debate with quarterbacks. That these guys kind of have some issues in that department because they can't see over the 6'6" tackles.
Well, Drew Brees did it.
Well, that's a don't put his name in your mouth next to this guy. Don't you dare.
All right, but we've all certainly expected a little bit more from this guy. And this is a lot of also how great college players don't always make the leap to the NFL like we'd hope they did, right?
Yeah. And then my
So that's
last
a
note
part
on
of
it
this.
is projected at 26. I do think there is value here in two quarterback leagues or as your backup with the new weapons that he has. I do think there is value at this 26 projection. That's a little dirty. 18-20. I think he can take a leap this year.
Yeah, I'm fine with that value, but I don't see him in my 12-man league, probably on my roster even.
Probably not.
But I mean, he's a guy where you see him jump out of the gate with a few strong showings this year. You could stash him. He could be your bye week quarterback or, your injury guy quarterback or trade bait or whatever.
He
On
does
the,
have the Carolina Panthers single game passing record with I think 450 or 480 passing yards.
I mean, the talent is certainly there. There's still upside here. It's just like from the amount of time he's played, we would have liked to have seen more of it. Granted, you do have a more defensive minded head coach
Yep.
and a focus on running the football type thing.
Yep.
But it's not a great division, so I could easily see him finally being more exciting to watch and to have for fantasy. But it's hard to put a lot of stock into that.
Yeah. I guess the last note on that would be the team doesn't need him to be Peyton Manning.
That's
They
it
need
too.
him to hand
Yeah,
the ball
more of a
off,
game
monitor the
manager.
game, keep it within one possession so he can come down with a game winning drive at the end.
I mean, God, even if this guy has, triples, goes from 2 touchdowns to 6 rushing, like you're certainly going to feel a lot better about that as a
Yeah.
bye week or a backup guy.
Yep.
Second quarterback, he's also a candidate, I think, for another breakout second quarterback if you have a 2 quarterback league or a deep league super flex. Like he's a candidate who could outperform where he's drafted.
Yeah. I agree with that.
All right, let's move on to the Diva 1. Adam, take him away.
Tentara McMillan, offensive rookie of the year. This guy is big. He is strong. He is fast. He can do it all. However, before I toot his horn too much, and I said this before, I'll say it again, 56% catch rate is not good enough. That is not NFL worthy. That's a combination of him, the quarterback, the offense, the schemes, everything. That needs to be at 70%. That is just a terrible number. It means he's getting a lot of targets and they're catching the ball 50%. I mean, we can't have that. That needs to be at 60 to 70. This guy is amazing. He finished as wide receiver 16 last year. And this year he's projected at wide receiver 15. So they don't see a major improvement. But again, when you put up 211 points as a rookie, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, I think most of us like this guy for fantasy. I think he's probably the most draftable and targeted fantasy player on this squad. But I think we played this game when the initial receiver rankings came out. Let's tell you a little bit where he's at, right? So I'm in here. I'm going down the list. I see Rashee Rice, Malik Neighbors, Nico Collins, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, who we just talked about, George Pickens, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. Then there he is, Mr. McMillan after Devontae Smith. And before, Zay Flowers, Devontae Adams, Scary Terry, T. Higgins, Jalen Waddle, Carnell Tate, Lad McConkey.
Okay. That's a mouthful. I'll tell you exactly where he belongs on that rankings. He belongs in.
Exactly. Where is he going to finish? I want to know right now in between those players. Tell
Oh,
me.
yeah, we can circle back to this in 10 months. Tedros McMillan will finish in front of Devontae Smith and AJ Brown, both in front of him currently on
Ooh,
ESPN. He will not finish
spicy.
in front of anyone else, though, in terms of who's in front of him. I think he'll also finish in front of Zay Flowers, who's behind him, but probably not above Devontae Adams if he gets another million touchdowns. Anyways, where are you at in that roster, that ranking?
This guy had 122 targets last year, 70 grabs, just over 1,000 yards, and 7 touchdowns. They're actually projecting him for a little less, more targets, a few more catches, a few more yards, and 1 less touchdown. So actually, about 12 more fantasy points is where it comes out at. And Zay Flowers, I am becoming more bullish on Zay Flowers from what I've seen, although they did go out and get a couple of receivers there in Baltimore. So fine, I'm fine having him ahead of Flowers. Devontae Adams is tough because Devontae Adams had 14 touchdowns last year.
So, you go in front of him.
But it's difficult. Scary Terry, I'm also scared of. T. Higgins, I am probably going to be a little higher on T. Higgins, but I would do
that's the cut right there. No one else needs to be talked about.
The rest of those guys.
Yep.
I would also have him above Davante Smith. AJ Brown, him and AJ Brown, I think are a good duke out for me. But it also depends. Does he stay in Philadelphia?
I don't think so. I do not think so.
Well, then it's where does he go?
True.
If he goes to New England with Drake May, then no, I'm going AJ Brown with a quarterback that can throw like that. Yeah. So if that happens, you remember when Randy Moss went to New England with Timmy Brady?
He ain't no Randy Moss. He ain't even the same. Gold. He ain't even the same species of human as Randy Moss, let alone the same positional player.
I still think it'd be good for fantasy. However, AJ Brown, despite all the noise, he did average 10 targets a game last year. So he still got targeted heavily there. You're just a Philly hater.
I would never.
Oh, ding! What's that?
Never.
My Philly sandwich is done.
I like some Philly sandwiches. Don't get me wrong. Some cheese whiz up in there. That's good stuff.
All right. So I guess we like him at about ADP. We can't really make it much more of a bull case for him, but he deserves to be where he's at.
And above those Philly receivers. Moving on. Coker. Projected around Diva 51. Last year, projected wide receiver 74. Finished as wide receiver 68. Asterisk only played 11 games. Put up 8.2 points per game in those 11 games in a PPR league. Honestly, last year, kind of didn't do a whole lot. They have a lot of faith in him to break out this year. They're putting him as the number 2 wide receiver on this team. And close behind him, well, not close behind him, but you got Leggett and Brazil behind him, the rookie they drafted. I think Coker is number 2 on this team. I don't think Leggett stays as number 3 on this team. He has been the poo-poo performer here that Chris Brazil will work his way up above. That's my take.
This is Brazil?
I love that. I drafted him. I love that. Fast and the Furious reference right there. Man.
All right, Jalen Coker. Basically, any other receiver that's not Mr. McMillan here, I would struggle to draft on pretty much any format for fantasy football, especially redraft, of course. You can make a case for Brazil Dynasty, absolutely. Same with these other guys, but I'm just not going to be happy probably with these guys on any of my teams.
Yep.
We'll still talk about them here for a minute.
I don't think we need to. Legett's 25 and has successfully gotten worse every year. They clearly don't trust him. That's why they brought in Brazil, and that is the wrap right there.
All right. Well, fine. That's the wrap then. I can't get behind any of them, so that's the wrap.
That's the wrap.
Is there a chance for the rookie Brazil to come in, outperform, displace Leggett? So you're saying there's a chance?
Yeah, as a wide receiver 3 on a not good passing team. So even if he does, it still ain't going to be cherries.
Yep. Deeper league. Maybe you got Coker for some flexiness. Super deep.
Better be maybe? Super deep.
Talking 32 teams. But yeah, it's really Mr. McMillan here for fantasy on the Divas. Moving on to running backs. Mr. Chuba Hubbard. Adam, he is currently projected as around RB 25 right now for ESPN.
Okay.
They're projecting 243 carries, 990 yards, and 5 touchdowns. This dude only had 1 touchdown last year. So
That's
he
not
had a
good.
huge slide last year.
Big slide.
Averaged 3.8 yards a carry. Okay, so they're projecting a big bounce from him, is what I'm
So
seeing here.
let's if he comes in and fills in Dowdle's role and does what he needs to do, yeah, he could be a serious value here. He could be a serious helpful thing. However, on this Carolina team, we have a dark horse candidate in Jonathan Brooks. No one knows how well or durable that knee is going to hold up. The dude is coming off basically back-to-back ACLs, hasn't played real football in about 2 years. Um, However, since Dowdle is gone, I think this is a chance where if you want to take a shot at Brooks, and if you don't want to have the fear in the back of your mind about back-to-back ACL tears every time he does a cut, it's something you could take a shot on deep in a draft.
You're talking about Chuba or Brooks?
I was talking about Brooks there, Mr.
Oh,
ACL.
you're stealing
I
my
switched
shot
over.
here at running back.
No, I just said that was the dark horse candidate. That was you gotta listen a little faster. Back to you.
Oh, yeah. Chuba, I had no idea he was that bad last year.
Man, we are still on that, huh?
All right, okay.
Rico Dowdle was like the NFC, or it was
I
like
know
the
he had a lot of strong performances, yes.
he was like the leading weekly performer for like 7 or 8 straight weeks or something crazy like that.
Now moved over to Pittsburgh.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean,
You are with us today.
for
Welcome
me,
back.
Chuba is even harder. I mean, I think this is a little high considering his performance last year. I think
Well,
I'd rather take the shot on Brooks a little bit later.
I think we both align with that in terms of value. However, we do like to talk about touchdown progression possibility, and boy does Chuba have it. Chuba, only one. So even if he puts up 5 or 6 more and falls in a couple times, that changes that. But
Yeah,
again,
but at running
I hear
back
you.
in the 20s here, it's way priced in for him to move forward.
Yeah,
They got him at almost 1,000 yards, 5 touchdowns.
they think he's the guy. They must be worried about Brooks. Ooh, Chuba Hubbard and Jonathan Brooks carrying strong bond through the offseason. That's cute.
Yeah. So, okay. At the very least, I think this will be some kind of committee. I wouldn't be surprised if they did something else. You got Trevor Etienne, and then is Quadzilla still there? Is AJ Dillon the fourth guy here?
I don't even know, nor do I care.
Okay. All right. Well, I can't really get excited about it. And this is the backfield I kind of want to get excited about because they like to
They
run the
like to run
ball.
the football, and they run it
So,
well.
and vacating Rico Dowdle to the Steelers, there's going to be a lot of points here to be had between what looks like these two guys right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is all true. Tight
So,
ends. Oh,
you want to talk about where, I mean, he's going, the guys around him, they're going Travion Henderson, Bashal Tutin, DeAndre Swift, Chuba Hubbard, Jadarian Price, David Montgomery, Tony Pollard, Aaron Jones, Dalen Waddle, Stevenson, then Dowdle. Dowdle did have over 1,000 yards last year.
I mean, all right. Chuba Hubbard being behind Swift, Tootin. Don't agree with that. But that is the
Okay.
only two I'm probably going to argue about. Swift, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just because their offensive line, I'd say he's better. And yeah.
So, folks, I would probably fade Chuba unless you find the value here and think he's going to return to form. Keep in mind, he was beat out heavily by Rico Dowdle last year. And Jonathan Brooks, the higher draft capital player who was injured all of last year, is cleared to play. So that is probably where I would be putting my chips, and especially at a later pick.
That's fair. That's your reasoning line, so that's fair enough.
Okay. Tight ends. Are any of them fantasy relevant in this offense? The answer is no.
Nope, not a pass happy team, not a good passing team. You got 3-ish mouths to feed in the receiving core, and they like to run the football. You can leave these tight ends on the board, folks.
Yeah, they'll probably all be available. Jatavian Sanders, Tommy Tremble, the main two, and they will be involved in the offense, but it will not be good for your fantasy football team. I can about guarantee that.
It's a shooter guarantee right there.
All right, offensive line. Is it worth the crap, or what do you got?
Rushing the ball, it is worth the crap. Right now, Mike Clay has them early preseason ranked at 9th, which is higher than I thought, but that's due to how they run the football and how well they do there. Passing wise, not as good. In 2025, they did have some injuries. I have not seen them improve on this offensive line much at all yet, outside of the fact that they're going to have some healthy people coming back. So they have a great ground game to build on and a pass blocking front that needs improvement.
Kim, coaching. The Carolina Panthers coaching staff led by Dave Canals, featuring major changes to boost offensive production. So they're telling us everything we want to hear. Will it come to fruition,
They
Adam?
always do, and it rarely does.
They
Burning team.
promoted Brad Idzik to offensive coordinator and the play calling duties, hiring Daryl Bevel as associate head coach, offensive specialist. And Idzik's tendencies are deeply rooted with Dave Canales and Pete Carroll, emphasizing more of a balanced attack. You got something in your ear canals over there or what?
No, you're doing great. I love it.
Yeah,
It was deeply rooted. Deeply
deeply
rooted.
rooted.
I was like,
And
damn, he is teaching us new words today, and I'm about it.
yeah, folks,
The
look it up. Google it.
fantasiness,
Google it.
and deeply
Fantasyness is a thing.
rooted.
You should Google fantasyness. Tell me what comes up.
Not on my work computer.
Emphasizing still a balanced attack, and they're both trying to promote some offensive stimulation and help
Stimulation.
their young quarterback level up this year is what they're trying to do, is what we're seeing. Will it happen? You decide. What else you got on this team?
We got to get you a fresh encyclopedia over there just for some fact checks. No,
Did you look up fantasyness?
I will tell you, not on my computer. I'll do non public Wi-Fi. No, I don't know. No, the Panthers are interesting. Strong run team, like we know. The backfield's got some question marks there with who's going to get it. Is Bryce Young going to take a leap forward? He needs to, because if he doesn't, he is going to be done. Carolina will be hunting for a quarterback if they don't see what they need to see out of him, because they've got him the weapons now. And I think that's the MO of all this. They've got him the weapons. They've fixed the staff a little bit. It's up to Bracey boy now and that Alabama Mater.
Yeah. And it is May 6th. So this is one you'll be wanting to watch the running back room as we get closer to those sweet, sweet August drafts to see what it's looking like, right? Because I think there's going to be a lot of fantasy production here, but I can't tell exactly what it's all going to be. I would take the shots right now on Brooks because it's cheaper and it's higher upside.
I like it.
All right, folks, tell us what you see, any fantasy value on this team or any breakouts you see coming. Otherwise, thanks for tuning in to the Fantasy Football channel. We'll catch you guys in the next one.